And welcome back to the Business Hyve Podcast. I'm Jess, here to spark actionable strategies and fun breakthroughs that unleash your business potential. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest transitions of my life, leaving corporate and starting over. Now, I'm not here to glamorize it. I'm not going to sell you a dream or pretend like walking away from that steady paycheck is some kind of magical awakening. What I will do is tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the hard parts, the freeing parts, and all the messy in between moments that nobody really warns you about. So let me take you back. In high school, I already knew what I wanted to do. I didn't have the words for it back then. It wasn't called digital strategy, it was just called the web. But I knew that I wanted to work in that space. I loved how the internet felt like this endless possibility. It was so new, it was wild, and it was growing so fast. And I wanted to help create it. I was hooked. That almost got derailed in college. I still remember that day vividly. I was in a tutoring session, and my tutor was tutoring me in math. And he was probably not much older than me, maybe 3 years older than me. And he looked me dead in my eye and said, You know, girls usually aren't good at math, so computer science might not be the right major for you. Why don't you think about becoming a teacher? I was devastated. I was embarrassed. I was annoyed. I was angry. And I wish I could say I brushed it off, but it really did shake me for a while. In fact, to this day, it still gets a rise out of me. It made me question myself. And I did actually walk away from my major. But here's the thing, when you know you're built for something, no one else's opinion can keep you from it forever. After I went and talked with my college advisor, I learned of the Information Systems and Management program through the business school, which ended up being perfect for me. And a few years later, my first real break came. I landed a role as a web technology analyst for a large bank in Michigan while I was still in school. Now, I'm not going to talk about how I got the job and the fact that the job was posted and I wanted it so bad I took it off the job board. We won't talk about that. Let's just say I wanted that job and I got it. I was so proud of having that job. I felt like I had made it. I was working in tech and I didn't even have my degree yet. I was building things that mattered and I was learning all along the way. And for a while, I thought that would be the dream forever. Since that time in 2001, I've held all kinds of roles in the digital space. I've done search engine optimization and digital analytics, website design and development, digital marketing, paid media, social media, content development, honestly, everything. I've worked for Fortune 500s and startups and nonprofits. I even worked for a local municipality. I've had roles I loved, teams that felt like family, and leaders who truly invested in me. But about 7 or 8 years ago, things started to shift for me. I stopped feeling fulfilled. I didn't hate my work, I hated how I had to do it. The never ending deadlines and the constant pressure to justify my worth to people who didn't even understand what I was doing in my job. The meetings about meetings, the passive aggressive coworkers, the micromanaging, the underpay, the overwhelming monotony of being a digital strategist inside of a machine that didn't want to evolve. They just wanted to keep spinning. And let's not gloss over it, okay? Being the only or one of two Black women in most rooms added a whole other layer of exhaustion. The microaggressions, Lord, the microaggressions. The way I had to prove my intelligence over and over again. The assumptions, the backhanded compliments, the way you're both invisible and hypervisible at the same time. That stuff starts to wear on you. But what pushed me over the edge wasn't just burnout. It was seeing the ridiculous advice being handed out to small business owners. This influencer culture, the $2,000 programs selling Google search results in a pretty Canva deck, the lack of nuance, the gimmicks being sold as strategy. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here with nearly 25 years of actual experience helping real businesses grow, working in multiple industries, managing real budgets, building infrastructure, and leading teams. I kept thinking there's a gap in the market and I could be the one to fill it. So, in November of 2024, I left. No plan, no safety net, no clients waiting for me. I do not, let me repeat that because you didn't hear me. You're starting to get riled up and I need you to hear me. I do not recommend that for everyone. I'm be honest, baby, I don't recommend that for anybody. I do not suggest this route. I did it because it had been pulling at me for literally almost a decade. And if I didn't leap when I did, I knew I might never. So here we are. Let's talk about what I've learned so far, starting over from scratch. First, you're going to need a plan, not a 40-page strategy document or some detailed minute-by-minute roadmap, because let's be honest, no matter how much you plan, things are not going to go to plan. You just need a real, honest outline of what you're trying to build. What do you want to do? Who do you want to serve? How are you going to serve them? And why does it matter to you? Because when things get hard, and baby, I am going to tell you, things are going to get very hard. That why is going to be the only thing that keeps you moving. Second, you're going to need an audience. I know. Look, I know. The online gurus love to say that you could sell anything with the right funnel or copywriting magic. I know, but that's nonsense. Okay, I'm telling you it's nonsense. I've been doing this 25 years. I'm telling you it is nonsense. If you don't have people paying attention, you won't have people buying. That's just the truth of it. Unless you've got a $20,000 budget to blow on ads right out the gate, organic reach is going to be your lifeline. And organic means people. You need to be building your audience before you're begging them to buy. Third, it's going to take longer than you think. It is going to take so much longer than you think. Building trust and creating content, creating your offer, then refining your offer, building out your back end systems, it's all a longer game than social media makes it seem. This whole idea of, oh, you can make it in 6 months, I don't know who said that. I don't know who did that. But under normal circumstances, that's not going to be the case. Give yourself the space to grow at the pace your business requires. This is not a race. Fourth, there's no magic pill. I can't say that loud enough. There is no download, no course, no mastermind, no coach, no platform that will magically turn your idea into a thriving business overnight. Not even the Business Hyve, my community. Not even me as your consultant. This stuff takes real work. It takes critical thinking. It takes testing and refining and showing up, even when it feels like no one's listening. And finally, you're going to have to invest. I don't care who you are. You're going to have to invest time, money, energy, sometimes all three at once. You cannot get something for nothing. And honestly, if you're not willing to invest in your business, why should anyone else? So here's what I want you to take away from this: starting over is hard, it'll stretch you, it will test every ounce of your patience and self belief, but it will also sharpen you. It'll show you what you're capable of. You need to have a plan. You need to build your audience. You need to be ready for the long game. And please don't fall for the easy button. It doesn't exist, it's a myth. And when all is said and done, you're going to have to be the one to commit to investing in the future you say you want. All right. Thank you for spending time with me on the Business Hyve Podcast today. If you've been thinking about starting over, leaving your job, or building something that actually feels aligned, then I hope you feel a little more seen and a little more prepared. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. This podcast is where I unpack the mindset shifts, strategies, moves, and hard won lessons that come from actually doing the work, not just talking about it. So until next time, stay curious, stay consistent, and do it afraid. Talk to you later.